well, thank you for having me. It's been about 2 years since I came to speak about Brightside, and boy, have there been changes. I was going to bring Chunk with me, who's absolutely the coolest dog on the planet. But Juniper, they used to let us, but they don't anymore, so I didn't get to bring him. Unless I put a service dog vest on him, and that wouldn't be good. Anyway, so I just thought I'd give a few stats about 2024. If you haven't been to Brightside in a while, you need to go check it out. We have completely revamped the entire place. It's clean. It doesn't smell anymore. The animals are as happy as animals can be in that environment. We have people that come in just to pet the cats. And they have their own rooms now and all that kind of stuff. It's just really, really nice. It's worth it to just go check it out, because if you were there a few years ago, you won't recognize it. We also have, in the last 2 years, brought it from the brink of bankruptcy to having a positive $100,000 at the end of 2024 income. So, that was huge. We have a great team on board. It took us a minute to get there, but between the board members and our staff, we're just thriving and growing like crazy. And in fact, we're trying to grow our board as well. If anybody's interested in adding anything to their plate, we'd love to have you. So just a few statistics from last year. We welcomed 353 animals into our care. Of that number, 721 stray animals were brought in by people in the community. 259 animals were seized by animal control, either as stray or neglect cases. And 220 animals were surrendered to us. We also processed 1,399 animals out of our care. There were 934 adoptions, and we reunited 359 animals with their owners.
In 1 year?
Yes. Just as an example, so I'm also a foster. I'm not just on the board, I'm also a kitten foster for Brightside. And last year we had 943 kittens come through, and 48 of those came through my house. Yeah. Anyway. It was a crazy kitten year last year. We performed approximately 716 medical exams, and that's with rotating vets. We've been trying to get a full-time vet on board and haven't been able to do that. But we have like 4 vets that just do part-time rotations so that we can get more care done and the spay and neuter done more timely. And because the quicker we can get them fixed, the quicker we can get them on the adoption floor. So at any rate, so 716 exams. There were 454 cat surgeries, 295 dog surgeries, and of those surgeries, that spay, neuter, dental procedures, enucleations, eye removal, that's an eye removal. I can do all the surgeries. I can't do the eye removals. That's just beyond gross. Tumor mass removals as well as amputations. So for those of you who know me personally, I have a transgendered tripod cat because he got an amputation, and as a bottle baby, Hannah has his brother and sister. Do you? Could have been. Anyway, one of them bit his penis off, and we didn't know it until he went in to get fixed, and so he got turned into a girl. Leave it to me. That's all I have to say about that. But he had less than 5% chance of survival, and he's 2.5 years old now. So, and yeah, big and fluffy and crazy. So that's it for all the technical. Yeah, I know, right? All the guys are sitting there with their legs crossed. That's all the technical stuff. What I like to do is just give you that stuff, and then, and you were speaking of bottles and cans. So we annually get about $200,000 in income. Yeah.
You were the original kind of bottle and can person down
here. Yeah. So now we've got Boxes and Madras, Bend, Sisters, and Redmond, and we literally, that's one of our biggest income streams, is the bottles and cans. I mean, just think about the 2 people that sort enough bottles and cans to come up with $200,000. And if you've never done that job, ugh, it's gross. People just, the stuff they'll put in those bags is just disgusting. So, and then we also have the thrift store, which is our other source of income besides adoptions. So without those two things, we probably would have a very hard time. We are not Humane Society, so we are not funded by them. We are an independent nonprofit. So now what I like to do is just open it up for questions, because, yes, Amber?
Are dogs the largest animals that you take?
Yes. Yeah, we're not set up for goats or horses or anything like that. Yes, Dave?
How much do you charge for a teeth cleaning?
We don't do outside surgeries. That's just the surgeries for the animals that come into our care. We don't have an open clinic for outside. That's something we'd like to do eventually, but we can't even keep the vet. We can't even get a vet to come in and just take care of the animals that we have coming through. Uh-huh.
What's the strangest animal that has come in this year?
Well, we had an iguana that came in. So that's probably, because we really don't do reptiles either. We did find it a home, but yeah, I would say that's probably the strangest. Just because we're used to things with fur, bunnies, dogs, and kittens. That's not really long tongues. And
that means something, you did something with CFCC and is there a vet tech program connected?
Yes, it very much is. So they're a huge part of the program. They're right behind Brightside. And Beth Palmer, who runs that vet tech program for COCC, is our board president. And her kids that are in the program for one term go over to Brightside and help clean kennels and learn how to take care of the animals and how to handle the animals. We are also a fear-free program, which means that all of our volunteers have to go through this program called Fear-Free, which teaches you how to handle the animals in such a way that you're actually helping them and not freaking them out more than they already are. We have temporary foster situations where we have some dogs that would just need to get out for a weekend or a few days or whatever. That we're always looking for people who want to come and take a dog out for a weekend or just to get them out of that environment, because it makes a huge difference in their attitudes and their personalities when they can get a break. Did you have a question?
I do have a question. During COVID, did you guys see an influx or was it a decrease with your animals that came in?
Well, one of my other animals is a COVID baby. No, it didn't slow anything down. The only thing it did was make it harder to adopt them out, because we actually, we were shut down for a little while. But once we opened up, of course, it was under the COVID protocols, and so one of mine is definitely, she picked me. I was looking for a cat for Eric. Just putting that on the record.
So my question is, how much does the thrift store contribute, like the net that you're able?
So basically, the thrift store has been averaging around between $30,000 and $50,000 a month, and that's been completely revamped as well. In the last year, we brought on an actual retail manager, and she completely changed that whole store around. So it's very organized. It's just completely different. We still have some issues with receiving. Just I don't know how we get that fixed, but it's problematic. We don't get as much stuff in as we would like because our availability for receiving stuff is limited to a certain amount of hours and certain days, as opposed to Goodwill, which is like just right up the street, who will take anything and everything anytime. So that hurts us a little bit. We're working on that.
Is that 30 to 50K, is that just revenue or is that your?
No, that's revenue. I mean, no, that's net revenue. Yeah.
Okay. And did you see more, like, we hear about post-COVID people that had gotten pets, and then when COVID was over, they no longer want those pets. Did you get any influx kind of after COVID?
No, the thing so we really try to help people rehome their animals as opposed to return animals. So we try and help give them, if there's a reason why they're struggling with the animal, we try and help give them resources that, we have a food bank, we have in fact, homeless people or anybody that's just struggling, we have a food bank. You can come in and get food for your cat or your dog. So we generally try to do that. We don't see a lot of return on animal adoptions, and usually if we do, it's within a week after they adopted it because they didn't give it enough time for the cat to get used to the dog, that kind of thing. Buyer's remorse.
With the increase in the population in the area, are you finding challenges with trying to upscale, or has the animal adoption rate and the animal donation I'm sorry, I don't know what the word would be, but are you experiencing like a need for more resources with the population increase?
There's always a need for more resources for the homeless because, of course, most of them live out in that area by Brightside that have animals, and camp is a program that helps them with getting their animals spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and some food and stuff. But I don't think that we've necessarily seen an increase or a decrease. It's the one thing about shelter nonprofit as opposed to other nonprofits is we don't have anything that we can tie consistency to. You don't know what month of the year 20 people are going to come in and adopt a dog. You can guess that maybe before Christmas there might be more, but surprisingly, that tends to be a slower time of year. So there's really we can do charts and flow charts all day long, and there's just not any consistency at all in any of that stuff. So it's all dependent upon the people who donate to us. Yes, Chris.
What's regular adoption fees?
Oh, see, I knew someone was going to have to. So basically, for a kitten, it's $175. That's for under a year, and then for an older cat, it's like $75. An adult cat. Dogs, I think, are around $250 for a puppy, and $200 for an adult dog. Generally, they come fixed, chipped, and fully vaccinated for that price.
And then what's the earliest youngest a volunteer can actually volunteer?
We take junior volunteers. They just have to come with an adult. So we have little kids your age that come in and help with the pet kittens and do stuff like that. There's certain areas we can't let them in just for safety reasons, but no, they can come and volunteer. They just have to bring a grown-up with them. Not just an adult, Chris, an actual grown-up. He knows I love him. Anyway.
Do you have any upcoming fundraising events or volunteer opportunities that you need help with?
We have volunteer opportunities all the time. Our volunteer program is really nice in the respect that we don't have any requirements. If you can give an hour a month or however you want to work it out, or whatever day, whatever part of it you want to do, we accept it. It's just how we get all the bases covered because we never have enough volunteers. As far as fundraisers, we do bingo on Sundays at Blacksmith. That's our ongoing fundraiser, and that usually brings in $2,000 or $3,000 that's on that Sunday. And then we have our big fundraisers usually in the fall, competing with everybody else. We're thinking about maybe changing that up a little bit, but yeah, we had a pretty, I think, really successful for us, about $35,000 this year for that event. But it's always ongoing, and you can go online and fill out an application online to do that.
What is your capacity for animals? Like how many cats, how many dogs can you have?
It varies. I mean, we can make capacity. We've got land that we can put temporary kennels and stuff up, so we don't really have a fixed number. We just try and keep it in. you know, and it also depends on how many dogs the police have brought in, because they can take up a big chunk of space. And we're also handling Jefferson County now because their shelter was shut down. So Jefferson County's got a whole section of their own kennels for their pickups.
I find it missing, but they just primarily small animals,
Yes.
no horses,
No.
cows.
No, we aren't.
You see that in the news, we have like these large animals being neglected.
Yeah.
You
They
see
go to
much
Deschutes
neglect
County.
For the small ones.
Yes.
Well, there's several places that take them.
Yeah, the county does. Yes, we see a lot of neglect. Unfortunately, a lot of the animals that come into us. Yes.
You were, I don't remember the number, it was like over 300 that were reunited with their families.
Yes.
I think you were talking about. Is that like through the chip that was on them?
Yes, or they went on the, or they,
Find my dog.
yeah, we have on our website, which has also been improved. We have a lost pets section, and people can put animals that they have found and post the picture and that information on there, and people who have lost animals for the same reason. So we check that every day, and we get an animal that comes in if it's, and even the social media sites we'll check. So that's a big part of it, and chips if they do it. Unfortunately, still a lot of people don't chip. I don't know why. Yes, Josh.
I just wanted to make a comment. We adopted a kitten in August, and the process was super smooth. The facility was super clean. Everything was wonderful. And so my kids wanted to move in.
Yeah, trust me, so do we. We would all do that if we could.
It's super nice in there. Yeah, if you guys hadn't been recently, go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out, because I guarantee you'll come home with something. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Anybody? All right.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. Oh,
Trying to get a little pen from us.
Ron, you gotta learn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
thanks,
Terry.
Ron.
Appreciate it.
Cake pop with you or take it home to somebody. Those are supposed to be for Maria and Miguel's going away, so make sure you take some home to somebody.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes.
Appreciate it.